folks, Dave with DBS Tech Talk, and today we're going to talk about the Loxjie P20. The Loxjie P20 is a tube amplifier, very small build, and very nice, sharp looking. You can get it in red or black, and maybe another color, I can't remember. Has two small tubes on top, a little vent, and then on the front you have your XLR 4-pin out, 1/4 inch out, a little LED screen, and a volume knob / power input selector. On the back you have your RCA in and your balanced inputs, and a power supply, some venting. On the bottom you get a couple feet. Overall build quality is very good. Nice and light. It is not heavy at all, and it's not to the point where you need a crane to put it in place on your desk. It's extremely light. Let's go ahead and plug it in here. I do apologize, my cord is really short, so I'll try to hold it as best I can in place here. To turn it on, you just press and hold the power button, flashes P20 on the screen, and then goes to whatever volume setting you had before. Goes from -60 to 0. And therein lies the first negative of this. It makes a clicking noise. I don't care for that. Next, the volume knob seems to be a little too fast for my preference. Sometimes when you go to turn music down, you'll go and you'll actually turn it too fast. And you can turn it up too fast also. Next, to change your inputs and outputs, you press in once and it will go to your outputs, output 1 and output 2, and you just change that by going right or left on the knob. Output 1 is XLR, output 2 is RCA. You click it again and you go to inputs. Input 1 is XLR, input 2 is RCA, and I'm sorry I said it wrong on the output. Output 2 is 1/4 inch, not RCA. In order to change them, you have to click through it. There's no holding it down or anything, because if you hold it down, it turns the power off. And so it's just kind of frustrating. And then also, if you're changing your volume and you happen to hit the button, then you're in the input or mode or output modes, and you're having to fiddle around and go back to the setting and hit it again. It's just, to me, it's a finicky volume knob, and I don't care for that. Next, negative on it is it has a, no matter what headphone it is in it, it has this tendency to just merge the bass and the mids together, and they kind of become one sound, or very close sound, and it makes it really warm and extremely bassy, but it doesn't give you quality. It just kind of turns it into quantity, and the treble loses some of its dynamics and detail. It loses that sparkle crispness to it. Could be the stock tubes, I'm not sure. But to me, it's just, it does too much of the bassy, tubey sound and doesn't give the clarity soundstage that you can get with tube amps. Like my APPJ PA1502A and my CTH, you get a little bit of that bass and mids warmth, but you get greater soundstage and greater clarity and details with those two amps. Whereas this, you don't get that soundstage and clarity and details. You just get that bass and mids warm up, and it just makes it too thick sounding. So I have this paired with the Shelly Labs Enog 2 Pro, and it works very well balanced. Do not have any issues there. RCA works very well also. Lacks a little bit power on 1/4 inch out. It's not as strong on single-ended. Balanced wise, it's extremely powerful, and no problems driving any headphones. Speaking of headphones, the headphone that I got this amp specifically for is the Sennheiser HD600. And to me, it just doesn't have good synergy with this headphone, which is really sad. I wanted to try the Sennheiser HD600's balanced tube, but for me, this just didn't play well. It removed the details and clarity that the 600s are known for, and just made them all way too warm, and it just didn't play well. I do like the 600s on tubes. I like it on my APPJ and on the CTH. It's just the Loxjie and the Sennheiser 600, it's just, to me, just aren't a good mix, sadly. You may have a different experience with the Loxjie, and a lot of people do recommend it and talk about changing tubes and everything. So I look forward to seeing some of those comments and maybe seeing what your experience is. But unfortunately, I am going to return to Loxjie P20 and look for another tube amp for my 600s. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.